Hi, it's Dr. Valencia Porter here, and I'm giving you some health tips. Today I'm going to be talking about how to stay stress-free, focused, and energized. I wanted to give you a few quick tips on how to do that because I know a lot of people have busy lives and want to know what can I do to shift my mood, shift my energy in a fast way. And what I found is that breathing exercises and aromatherapy are two ways to really shift that in a rapid fashion. So I'm also going to be talking about some herbs that can be helpful, but those are more used on a long-term basis, whereas just changing your breath can shift you in a matter of minutes. So what happens when we're stressed? What happens to our breathing is we tend to breathe more shallow. And when that happens, we're not getting enough oxygen to our brain or to our body tissues, and that sends even more of a stress signal to our brain and our body. So just shifting our breath from shallow breathing to deep belly breathing, so taking some long, deep breaths with a soft belly can really shift it. Now, when you inhale, you want to fill your lungs up to the point where your belly is going to pooch out, because as your lungs fill up, your diaphragm should drop down, and then you want your belly to go out so that there's enough room for that air to come in. And then when you exhale, on the other hand, your belly's going to come in, the diaphragm's going to lift as that air is pushed out of your lungs. And you want to do that so that you are fully oxygenating your lungs, which is then going to send that oxygen to the rest of your body, to your brain. And you also want to exhale fully to get the stale, stagnant air out, because that is the job of our lungs, is to take in oxygen that we need and release carbon dioxide that we don't need. Okay, so just doing some deep belly breaths. So taking at least 3 deep breaths can help calm you down. There's some more advanced breathing techniques that are on my website. I won't go into those now. They're a little more complicated to do, but they are tremendously helpful. So you can go to my website, valenciaporter.com, and look at the media there, and you'll see some great breathing techniques. Another breathing technique that's great for energizing is called Bhastrika, energizing breath, or bellows breath. And that is really using your abdomen to force air out and then gently inhale in. So we are rapidly oxygenating. And you want to do that with a closed mouth so that you don't hyperventilate, because that would not be good. So keeping your mouth closed, you're going to forcefully exhale and then allow yourself to inhale. I'm going to stand up here so you can see what's going on with my abdomen. Forgive me if my head gets cut off here. It's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to exhale out and then inhale. So doing that, you can do a series of 10 and then relax, and then do another series of 10, maybe 3 sets of 10. If you feel lightheaded at all, so I recommend doing this sitting down because we don't want you to feel lightheaded. But if you feel lightheaded at all, then it's time to stop. But doing this breath will really oxygenate your system and get that energy flowing. So some other things to really rapidly shift your energy, your mood, is aromas. And we detect them through our nose, of course, and that goes right to cranial nerve 1. That goes right to our brain. And scientific research has found that there are actual receptors in the brain for certain aromas, such as incense from frankincense. That goes right to the brain and interacts with these receptors in our brain. So they can have energizing effects, they can have calming effects. For calming, the prototypical one is lavender. That's a wonderful one. for calming. And some other ones are kind of earthy scents, like ylang ylang, patchouli. Other ones that are calming are things like Roman chamomile, as well as hops. So those are all calming. The calming ones, like chamomile and hops and lavender, that makes a great combination to help go to sleep. Now, what about needing more energy? What can you do for more energy? You want aromas that are more uplifting. So the mint family in particular is really great for lifting your mood, lifting your energy. Spearmint, peppermint, wintergreen, those are all great. They can also help with mental focus. The citrus family is also uplifting, and lemon in particular elevates the mood and also can help with energy levels. And then I also really like rosemary. I remember when I was in residency and working my 36 plus hour shifts straight without sleeping, and then having to drive home in rush hour traffic, in LA traffic, which can take quite a long time. I was falling asleep at the wheel. And, no amount of coffee, air conditioning, loud music, windows rolled down, nothing was helping. I was falling asleep. And then I came across some study or some tip somewhere that said to try rosemary. And so I had this little vial of rosemary essential oil in my car, and on the way home, I would just smell that periodically. It would keep me awake. It would keep me from falling asleep at the wheel, get me home safely. So I really like rosemary. It's still a favorite of mine to uplift and to energize. So 3 types of scents there. You got your citrus, your mint family, and rosemary to keep you energized. And then to help you calm down, lavender is great. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about some herbs that can be helpful. And these herbs are in a class called adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic herbs help the body and the mind deal with stress. So these are wonderful herbs. My top one is called ashwagandha. Ashwagandha. And I prescribe this so often for stress, fatigue, sleep issues, anxiety. It's quite safe, and the Latin name of it is called Withania somnifera, and somnifera talks about the sleep-inducing properties, although it's not sedating. So it helps with sleep without being sedating. And this is a great herb for people who are wired and tired. So people who are really revved up, can't get their brains to calm down, but maybe they feel fatigued even though they're wired. So this is a wonderful herb, and it's quite safe. It's been used in some studies for people with breast cancer, cancer-related fatigue as well, including use while people are on chemotherapy, and definitely found to be helpful as well as safe. So the starting dose that I recommend there is 500 milligrams twice a day. There could be some interactions with thyroid, so if you do have hyperthyroid or on thyroid medications, you do want to be careful and monitor that, and perhaps check with your healthcare practitioner. So that's ashwagandha. It's in so many stress formulas that are out there. Highly recommend it. The second herb I wanted to talk about is called Siberian Ginseng, although it is not in the real ginseng family. So it's also known as Eleuthero. This is a great herb for people who work hard, play hard, and hardly sleep. So this is another adaptogenic herb. It helps with energy. It helps with the immune system. So oftentimes when we're under a lot of stress, going, we can become susceptible to colds and flus. And this has been shown to decrease the incidence of that. So Eleuthero or Siberian ginseng is great. And then traditional ginseng, regular ginseng, which there are Native American varieties and Asian varieties. I highly recommend Korean ginseng from a quality distributor, and I'll drop in some links below of some products that I recommend. But Asian ginseng is also great. It is very energizing. as well, and also helps to support the immune system. I like to take my ginseng as a tea. I put a little bit of honey in there, and it makes me feel really good and energized. And then the last herb that I wanted to talk about is Bacopa, Bacopa monnieri, which in Ayurveda is also known as Brahmi, which relates to the brain function. Bacopa is a great herb. It is super safe. It's you can use it in children and in the elderly. It's been studied for use for attention and focus and memory. And it also has been shown to be useful for anxiety. So this is a really nice herb. It is also gut protective, so it helps protect your gut from stress. You know, some people may be familiar with getting ulcers from stress, which is a known phenomenon. So Bacopa also helps protect the gut. And that is also a really nice herb to incorporate. And the doses there is 200 milligrams twice a day. And you can get that in capsule form. It's just a couple of tips to help you keep going, help you stay energized, focused, and reduce your stress. I also highly recommend that people incorporate a meditation practice into their lives, and I will also drop a link down there below so that you can link up to a Soham guided meditation that is quite relaxing. There are many ways to practice meditation. This is just one of them, but there are lots of ways to do that. Guided meditation. You can do meditation with a mantra, walking meditation. There are great apps out there like Headspace and Inner Balance. So I just encourage you to find a way to manage your stress so that you can be healthy, happy, productive, and awesome. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.